Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you went in there? Or found yourself smiling at someone in the grocery store while desperately trying to remember their name? If you're over 65, you're not alone, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about. In fact, small slips like this are incredibly common, and they don't mean you're losing it. They just mean your brain, like the rest of your body, needs the right kind of support. Here's something most people don't talk about enough. Your memory is not just about puzzles or brain games. It's deeply connected to what you eat. That's right, certain foods have the power to nourish the brain, sharpen your recall, and help you remember those names, faces, and birthdays a little easier. And the best part? These foods are simple, delicious, and you might already have them in your kitchen. Today, we're diving into 5 powerful brain-boosting foods that help your memory stay strong after 65. Not just in theory, but in real, practical ways. Like remembering the name of your neighbor's daughter or what day your doctor's appointment is. We're not talking about miracle pills or extreme diets here. Just simple changes you can make daily that could help your brain feel clearer and sharper. Now, let's start with one of the most underrated brain foods out there. Blueberries. Yes, those tiny berries you might toss on top of oatmeal or blend into a smoothie. Blueberries are like nature's brain candy. They're packed with antioxidants, especially a type called anthocyanins, that help protect your brain from the effects of aging. Studies have shown that eating blueberries regularly can improve communication between brain cells, which means better memory and quicker recall. Even a small handful a day makes a difference. I knew one woman in her 70s who started adding frozen blueberries to her yogurt each morning. After a few weeks, she told me she could remember her grandson's favorite cartoon characters again, without needing a reminder from her daughter. The beauty of this food is how effortless it is. No preparation, no fancy cooking. Just wash and eat. Or toss them into your cereal, your smoothie, or even your salad. Over time, this small habit supports the hippocampus, the part of the brain that holds onto names and dates. Now let's talk about something warm, rich, and comforting, like a nice piece of salmon. This fatty fish is full of omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, which is essential for brain health. DHA is like oil for your brain engine. It keeps things running smoothly, helps nerve cells communicate better, and plays a big role in memory and concentration. If your brain feels a bit foggy lately, there's a good chance it's been missing this key nutrient. Even just 2 servings of salmon per week can work wonders. I remember chatting with a gentleman named George at the park one morning. He was 79 and told me he started eating baked salmon twice a week on his doctor's suggestion. "It's like my mind woke up," he said. "I can finally finish a crossword puzzle again without needing to peek at the answers." His wife laughed and nodded. It was true. The trick here isn't perfection, it's consistency. You don't have to eat fish every day, just finding ways to include it in your weekly routine. Maybe with a Sunday dinner or grilled salmon fillet for lunch can help your brain stay sharp and focused. These foods aren't just about preventing decline, they're about supporting joy. The joy of recalling an old memory, the satisfaction of finishing a story without losing your train of thought, the comfort of seeing a familiar face and knowing exactly who they are. Let's take this journey one delicious step at a time. Now that we've started with 2 of the most powerful brain foods, blueberries and salmon, let's continue with something you may already enjoy with your toast in the morning. Eggs, yes. For years, they got a bad reputation because of cholesterol fears. But the truth is, they're one of the most nourishing foods for your brain, especially the yolk. That golden center is rich in a nutrient called choline, which your brain uses to produce acetylcholine, a chemical messenger that plays a big role in memory and learning. Have you ever struggled to remember someone's name seconds after they told you? That frustrating little pause, the tip of the tongue moment? Well, your brain might be running low on the very fuel it needs to store that memory. Choline helps create the link between what you just heard and your ability to recall it later. I once met a retired teacher who made scrambled eggs every morning. Nothing fancy. Just eggs, a a little salt and pepper, maybe some chives from her garden. She said it wasn't just breakfast, it was her secret weapon. I've been out of the classroom for 10 years, she told me, but I still remember all my students' names. I'm convinced it's the eggs. What I love about this is how simple it is. You don't need expensive supplements or complicated routines. Just real, wholesome food that's been around forever. Boiled, poached, scrambled, any way you like them. Eggs are a gift to your brain. Now let's talk about something green, something that often gets pushed to the side of the plate, but it really deserves a starring role, especially if you want to remember more clearly. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and even romaine lettuce. These greens are full of brain-loving nutrients, especially vitamin K, folate, and lutein. They protect your brain against age-related decline, and some studies suggest that seniors who eat at least one serving of leafy greens a day perform like people 11 years younger on memory tests. That's not a small thing. That's the difference between struggling to recall what you had for lunch or remembering it like it happened a moment ago. Now, if you're thinking, I don't like spinach, don't worry. You can sneak these into your meals without even noticing. A little spinach blended into a fruit smoothie, a handful of kale tossed into soup, or sautéed with garlic for dinner. You don't need to eat like a rabbit. Just include these greens regularly. One woman told me she started keeping a container of chopped romaine in her fridge at all times. Every lunch, she'd toss it with whatever was on hand. Boiled eggs, tuna, even leftover chicken. She didn't aim for perfection, just consistency. And a few months later, she smiled and said, I don't forget my neighbor's name anymore. She's not just the lady with the white dog. Her name is Ruth. It's in those little victories where the magic lies. So we've got blueberries, salmon, eggs, and leafy greens. One more to go, and it's something that might surprise you. You probably have it in your pantry right now, and if not, it's worth adding to your next grocery list. But before we get to that final food, let's pause and take a breath. This isn't about fixing your brain overnight. It's about supporting it gently, one meal at a time. Every bite you take can be a quiet act of care, a reminder that your brain still wants to be sharp, that your memories still matter, that it's not too late to nourish the parts of you that hold your most precious stories. And believe me, your stories are worth remembering. We've talked about the deep blues of berries, the richness of salmon, the golden yolks of eggs, and the vibrant greens of leafy vegetables. Each one is like a gentle boost for your memory. But there's one last food I'd like to share, and it might just be the most surprising of them all. It's dark chocolate. Yes, you heard that right. Real, rich, high-quality dark chocolate. Something you can actually look forward to eating, guilt-free. Now, I'm not talking about sugary candy bars. I mean chocolate that's at least 70% cocoa, the kind with that bittersweet taste and a powerful punch of flavonoids, magnesium, and antioxidants. These compounds have been shown to increase blood flow to the brain, which is crucial for memory, focus, and alertness. Think of it like this. When your brain gets more oxygen-rich blood, it works more efficiently. You feel more awake, more aware, more connected. There's even evidence that dark chocolate can help stimulate the hippocampus, the part of your brain that stores long-term memories, like the name of your first pet, the smell of your childhood, home, or the birthday of someone you love. I once met a gentleman at a community center event who was always carrying a little square of dark chocolate in his pocket. He said it was his daily brain hug. He'd take a tiny bite during his mid-morning coffee break, not for the sugar, but because it helped him feel sharper, calmer, a little more with it, as he put it. I smiled when he said that, because that's exactly the point. These foods we've talked about today aren't about turning you into a memory wizard overnight. They're small acts of self-care, simple, delicious steps that say to your brain, I still value you. And if you've ever forgotten a friend's name in conversation, or blanked on where you left your glasses, even though they were on your head the whole time, you know how frustrating that can be. But here's the good news. You are not broken. You are not too old. Your brain is still listening to what you feed it. And sometimes it just needs a little support. A few blueberries with breakfast, an egg or two in the morning, a leafy salad at lunch, some grilled salmon now and then. And yes, a small piece of dark chocolate to end the day with joy. These foods aren't about restriction or punishment. They're about freedom. Freedom to keep your memories close, your mind awake, and your spirit full of confidence. Because remembering names, faces, and moments isn't just about being sharp. It's about connection. It's about walking into a room and smiling because you remember who someone is and why they matter to you. It's about telling your story clearly and holding on to the stories others share with you. Your life is made up of moments, people, laughter, conversations, and love. These foods, they're simply here to help you hold on to that beautiful life a little longer, a little clearer, and with a lot more joy. So now that we've walked through all 5 of these memory-boosting foods, I hope you feel inspired, not overwhelmed. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just begin by adding one of these into your routine. Even one small step can ripple into something bigger: a sharper mind, a lighter heart, a greater sense of control over your day. And if you've ever felt like your memory isn't what it used to be, know this: you are not alone, you are not powerless, you are not done growing. There's still so much good ahead, and your mind is ready for it.